After hours, on floor 21, I used to think offices after dark were too boring to be haunted. Carpet squares, polite hum, screens that nap like cats. I'm 25, junior analyst at a glassbox company that sells ideas in slide decks. My job tonight was simple. Fix a forecast, export a PDF, send the email with a subject line that sounds braver than it feels, and never use the elevator after midnight. That's the superstition from security. Take the stairs down. The cars get weird when the building's empty. He laughed when he said it. The laugh didn't stick. By 10:58 p.m., floor 21 had learned its night voice. Motion lights went to 30%. Copier warmed itself just to prove it could. Badge readers blinked the patient green of machines, waiting to be meaningful. The asset label printer on IT's shelf chattered without a click from me and spit a narrow strip with no asset number, no barcode, just do not use the elevator. Along the edge in ghost gray, not matching any clock I own. 3:13 The wall calendar said April like a person insisting they're fine. I stuck the strip to my monitor because paper makes rules heavy. The first odd sound was polite. 2 knuckles. Tapped a glass conference room wall. Measured. Not HVAC. Not a chair settling. I looked up expecting my own reflection. I got it, half a beat late, with a second head behind mine in the glass, tilted toward my ear like it had just reached the first half of a word. I blinked. It went back to being me and a potted plant that doesn't accept feedback. Slack pinged, a DM from where a name should be. Dawn to take the elevator. Kya, beneath? A button Ivy never seen. In Slack, double tap to confirm. With 2 tiny hearts that pulsed like this was a Valentine instead of instructions at work. I closed the chat. It reopened in a corner and pretended it had always lived there. Printers in offices breathed like refrigerators. Ours coughed and fed a page into the tray I hadn't sent. Leave the stairwell door, closed in 72-point Arial, like a training slide that forgot its audience. The timestamp in the footer read 3:13. My taskbar clock said 11:00. I swallowed the coffee that tasted like nickels and rules. The tap-tap came again from the glass. Left, then right, like somebody practicing call and response on walls. I walked to the conference room because walking makes fear choose a direction. The long table reflected me back twice. In the second reflection, my mouth was parted like it had reached the first half of Danto. In the far pane, a palm fogged from the cropper inside. 5 long ovals and a heel, and Traupers slid us down an inch before thinning. Glass at night is too honest. Back at my desk, Outlook pushed a calendar banner into my face. Join 3:13? The button under it said, double tap to confirm. The meeting location was... I told the screen no, with all the power of a mammal talking to light. The office phone rang with our own main line on the caller ID, which can't call you. I let it roll to voicemail and watched the live transcription in the soft gray that makes everything feel like a suggestion. Dawn to take the elevator, leave the door sealed. In my manager's tidy cadence. My manager was home. Her team's dot had turned into a moon hours ago. I did the brave thing that isn't. I worked. Cells lined up. Slides exported. I made the right numbers bend until they looked like truth. At 11:27, the building changed its mind about noise. Not quieter. Aligned. HVAC, elevator machine room through 2 floors, the exit sign transformer, the tiny sympathy buzz in every laptop brick. Everything kept the same beat for 4 slow breaths In that held cord, the glass door to the stairwell shivered against its strike like a sleeper scratching. The badge reader blinked green for no badge and went patient again. My phone buzzed with a verification text I hadn't asked for, then another. The lock screen offered, "Confirm delivery 313." With those same little hearts, like the night wanted me to double tap myself into something, I set the phone face down so the light couldn't decide my mood. The restroom mirror is the only thing in the whole office that tells the truth. In it, my headlamp-shaped hair eavesdropped on the world, and for one frame the stall door behind me stood half an inch ajar, and a palm cleared fog from the wrong side, from sliding. A polite inch, I backed out, hands up like I'd interrupted a meeting. At 11:41, someone knocked on the glass of the reception area. Tap, tap, on the full-height pane that faces the elevator lobby. Security sometimes tests doors. This was knuckles, measured like punctuation. I checked the camera feed. The lens caught the lobby in grayscale, and for a single frame, a B hand, 5 ovals, and a heel pressed on the camera from the inside of the lens. The next frame went honest again. I told myself doors like attention, not physics. The copier told me ready in a font that sounded smug. The asset label printer coughed another strip. Don't turn around. I didn't stick that one anywhere. The stairwell window has a view of nothing, concrete, and the backs of other people's air. I opened the door because leaving it shut felt like I'd been dared. Cold air from the shaft kissed my wrist like a mouth that hadn't earned it. Somewhere down the stairs, 2 floors beneath, tap tap came up the well in the exact rhythm of my heartbeat. The building intercom, the one no one uses unless fire, clicked and said, "Careful," like each word was being lowered into place with 2 fingers. Don't go down. So I didn't. I let the door close and the latch make its little metal kiss. And the badge reader, remember, it guards something. The lights in the open office aligned again for a count of 8, and my monitor clock hiccuped to upper 3.13 and back to 11:49, like it had replaced truth with a screenshot. Teams rang with a call from unknown. The preview tile showed my camera at desk height and my own shoulder from behind, which is not a thing physics allows without a second lens. I declined. It auto-redialed. I killed Teams. The little purple icon came back with the optimism of a weed. The elevator dinged in the lobby, not the cheerful daytime ding. A slow, lower chime, like someone had stretched the sound until it remembered church. The hall camera saw the doors open to an empty car. The floor indicator miscounted up to 13 dozen on a building that never labels that way. The car stayed open like a mouth. The asset label printer purred a third strip. Do not use the elevator again, as if repetition were currency. At 12:06, the cleaning crew usually makes polite chaos. Tonight, their cart didn't squeak. Their vacuum didn't gossip. The bin liners didn't sigh. The motion lights in the kitchen woke as I crossed and slept as soon as I left, like something on the counter wanted darkness back. The microwave clock blinked 3, and then, flustered, remembered meeting time is not an hour. The hallway carpet outside reception thumped the way carpet doesn't. Tap, tap, traveled from the copy room to the break area to my row and stopped at my chair with the patience of someone being interviewed. The hair on my forearms remembered it was hair. I packed to leave because paper is brave, but legs are smarter. Backpack zipped, laptop slept. I wrote, "Quiet night," on the whiteboard because forms and rooms share a religion. I palmed the stairwell bar. From the other side, a hand matched pressure. Not hard, just there. As if to say, agreement. The intercom exhaled. Leave. It closed. I took my hand off the bar like I'd touched a stove and decided I wasn't tea-hungry. The elevator dinged again. Patient. The car button panel. Camera feed the building keeps for reasons pretended to be a mirror for one frame. In it, over my shoulder, a head leaned in, tilted toward my left ear, mouth parted like it had reached the first half of Don't Aho. The next frame was brushed steel, and nobody. At 12:41, I tried the long way, the service corridor, to the freight elevator I wasn't going to take. The motion lights hummed awake, second too late. The up freight call button glowed without my thumb. A little screen above it displayed Confirm 313, like a calendar went feral. Under it, double tap to confirm. With the hearts, the button pulsed twice on its own, and then decided I had been polite enough to refuse. Back at my desk, the phone showed a new voicemail from me Perker. Transcription. I'm here. You learn what your own mouth sounds like when it's borrowed. It felt like that. The printer slid one last strip into the tray. Edges damp, like words that sweated. Leave the lights on. Fine. I left every switch up, every zone bright as an apology. I took the stairs, counted each landing, like a prayer. At floor 17, the concrete under my heel knocked twice. From the wrong side, measured. Polite, I kept walking. At 15, the window in the stairwell door fogged. From the hall side, palm, clearing a circle and sliding. An inch before, the glass remembered it was a wall. I said, to nobody, and the building. We're leaving it closed. The door cooled under my palm, like that sentence had jurisdiction. At the lobby, security looked up with the face of a man who counts eyes. Elevators are acting cute, he said, reading me like a spreadsheet. Stairs, yeah? I said, yeah. He flicked his pen toward the camera grid. In one tile, for a single frame, the elevator interior flashed 3.213 across the floor indicator, and a handprint bloomed on the mirror from the wrong side. He made the noise managers make when they decide a joke will help later and not now. Add a 3:13. Because some hours apply for shifts, my phone lit by itself on the sidewalk with unknown, confirmed delivery. The double tappy hearts pulsed. The building behind my back aligned. For one long breath, fans, elevators, lights, and let it go with the sigh of a person who chose not to argue. I went home. I switched to days 2 months later and told HR it was for work-life balance. In my apartment, some nights, the hallway knocks twice. And Bodhi 3.13. Like an elevator remembering a floor that doesn't exist. And the bathroom mirror fogs. A thumb width higher than my breath, while a palm clears a coin and slides a polite inch. When it does, I keep the chain on and my hands off buttons that offer 2 hearts. I say, in the steady voice floor 21 taught me, stairs only, leave the door closed. For a long thin moment, the room hums in one note, like an office pretending to be a choir. A head leans toward my left ear and practices the first half of Dawn T, and then the clocks remember their numbers. The apps remember their toys is and whatever was learning my footsteps a half beat behind me chooses someone else. S late night and lets me keep mine ordinary.
If you survived this far, leave your like to prove you are not afraid.